Hello everyone, this is Ritesh and we will cover the module create and modify dashboard in the unit create a story and a story point. Link to this full course will be at the description. And guess what? Since we are in the festive mood, so you get 50% discount on this course. And in order to avail that, you need to put discount code as data50. Again, you can get link at the description and comment. Welcome everyone to Tableau Desktop Specialist Certification, Module 4.2, and the unit is Create a Story and a Story Point. In the previous session, you learned how you add worksheets to a dashboard, plus other interactive elements like show filters, data highlighter, actions, so forth and so on. Basically, a story utilizes narratives to enhance the persuasiveness of your argument by illustrating the connections between facts and the way decisions influence outcomes. Well, before we move over to the worksheet and try to take an example from the real use case, remember that story is a concept. This is not something which is particular to Tableau, right? But right now we are going to learn about the story. How do you build a story with Tableau? But remember, even if you are making a dashboard, you are trying to portray a story. So if I just go with the generic definition of a story, so basically a story start with a context. Your sales are going up, or maybe it is dipping down, right? So you'll start with the context, something very important happening in your project that will set the context or base. After that, you will discuss about the contradiction and challenges, or portray or visualize the same. That what are the challenges which are making your sales dipping down and down and down. At the end, there should be a conclusion, a proper one, basically the main learnings from the entire process, which will help the decision makers to take the relevant decision. Now, this story feature of Tableau will help you to facilitate the same. But remember one thing, remember that series of dashboards can showcase the story too. Yes, there are certain advantages of story, but in a lot of projects, you are still making use of the dashboards. So if you're able to portray your message with that dashboard, then it is fine. Don't force yourself to make use of a story or the story feature of Tableau, but we will learn what it is and what are the advantages. In order to understand it more, I will take my own use case. For that, you can get the link at the description of this video, and also you can find the same at the workbook section that you have in all the units, or say all the modules. Now let's go to the example. Now this is an interesting dashboard that I created some time back, taking the Internet of Everything sort of data set, where we tried to analyze the sensor related data set, why it was going down, what could be the key factor, are there any trends. So I have three different pages over here now. What you see in front of you is the live live summary. The next page is the detail level 1 page, where I can go and drill down to the problematic set of sensors. And after that, I can, focus on that very. But if I get to know that, okay, this is the sensor, then I can always go to the sensor focus mode and see why there is a problem with the sensor. I can go back to the home after clicking on home. So in this case also, we do have a story. These are not isolated pages to display over there. The first page, we are identifying the problem day. And once we are there, for example, we want to go with the month of July. Okay, we are there now. And we can see there are two failures over there. So we go to the detail level 1 now. Now it will help us to identify the problematic servers over there, or say sensors over there. So here I can see this one. So the second one. So the second page helps me to identify the sensor with issues. So all the red ones are the problematic ones. So if I go to this one, now it will help me to focus on that very particular sensor. And now I can clearly see that when it was broken, this is the area that you can see. I will not get much into detail, but the last one, or the last piece of my story will help me to take the decision that whether this sensor is problematic or not, or if there is a problem, so what is the root cause of the problem. So that's how you complete your story. So whatever pages that I have showed you till now, these are all based on dashboard. But today we are here to discuss about the story on the right hand side bottom. So let us try to, have the story displayed with the help of the story feature of Tableau rather than these dashboards. So we have the dots, we need to connect them, and this story will help you to facilitate the same. So let us go ahead now and create a story. On the right hand side bottom, right hand side, or say the extreme right hand side bottom, you can see the icon for story. So I click on that, and here you go, the you got the storyboard over there. Now here you are free to drag your relevant dashboards and sheets as well. Now that's the big difference between story and dashboard. Within dashboard you can just pick the sheet, but in this case you can pick either a dashboard or a sheet. So both will work over here, unlike dashboard where you have to drag the sheets instead, not dashboard. Before we drag any sheet over there, on the left hand side bottom, you can set the relevant site that is being used for your project. So in this case, I'm going with the same 1016 and 964. Remember, the name of the sheet will become the default title of your story. So if you want to rename it, just rename it like this. I double click on that and I say retail analysis. Here you go. Oops, it's not retail, but it's Internet of Everything analysis, sensor analysis. Here you go. Now let us drag the first sheet, that would be summary live. You can drag it like this way, or also you can just double click the relevant sheet. So there are two ways. Now here is one of the features that you will not find with dashboard that you can. So basically there is a space dedicated for the caption, that too at the top of your story. Now that is something good. So here I can just double click and say sensor summary analysis. Okay, fair enough. Now the first say largely talk about what is happening. And as I said, in order to complete your storyline, there should be why and there should be some prescription as well. Now let's move ahead and find or learn how to add another story point. So here you can see on the left hand side you have two options over there. Either you can create a story point by clicking on blank, that's the one way, or you can duplicate as well. So you can see at the bottom, if I go right hand side, I can see the duplicate. So you are going to use the duplicate option only when you have the same view with a different context or filter. So in that case, you can duplicate. Otherwise, you go with blank only, or there are other options as well. So we don't want this way. So maybe I would like to just come out of this and I will just click on cross or delete. So this is the way to delete. I think the best way to pick the next story point is to just drag and drop the next part of your story. And in this case, I can say, so in this case, you are detecting the problematic sensor over there. So I say sensor detection. So I've given the name as sensor detection with failure. Okay, here you go. Now there is a third one as well where we are doing, or say we are focusing on the sensor in detail or in depth. So I just pick and drop. Now you can see sensor focus mode. So in a way, this is a story where it starts with a context, then it talks about the challenges, contradictions, and at the end, little bit of prescription or the conclusion or the solution, so forth and so on. Now there are other ways as well to navigate via your story, or say to navigate through your stories. First of all, I need to go to the layout, click on layout, and here you can see. Right now, this is under the influence of the caption boxes, which looks pretty good. But instead of these caption boxes, sometimes you would like to have only numbers over there, or say dots, or say arrows. Then how can you do that? So let's try to do the same. I go with the number option. So it will show me 1, 2, 3, looks elegant, or say dots, or there are arrows only as well. So now you have different options, say caption boxes or numbers, dots, but you also have one small little option over there to showcase your arrows or not. One important point that you can fit a dashboard to the exact size of a story. For example, if your story is exactly 800 by 600 pixels, you can shrink or expand a dashboard to fit inside that space. So that is allowed with this story if the dashboard dimensions are not matching the dimension of the story. Now, there is one more great feature that I forgot to tell you, that caption boxes, right? Sometimes what happens that you have more content for the section, like maybe, for example, the middle one. So if I have more things to say, then it's very convenient, right? You can just pick and you can expand this, and it will expand for the other boxes as well. So that's a good feature. Okay, let's go back to the numbers for now and go back to the story. One more thing, or say continuing to what I was talking earlier, dashboard can adjust itself according to the story size. So if you want to implement that, first of all, you need to come to that very particular dashboard and then go to size. And here you can see story 1016964. Here you go. Okay, let us go back to the story now. Here you go. What about the format part? It's simple. You go to format, story instead of workbook, and here you can get all the options over there. If you want to change the font color over there, and if you want to make it green, it becomes green, but that won't good look. But then here you have all the different options that you generally have with dashboard as well. You can change the shading of the navigator whenever needed, right? And also you can change the font of navigator, text object, so forth and so on. You can also change the default shading. As you can see over there, you can go over there and you can pick any relevant color that you feel that would look better. Well, in this case, I would like this to be lighter in color. Okay, for now, let us leave it over here with this shading. But remember, at any point of time, if you want to clear the format that was applied by you, you can click on clear and it will clear. But I'll go back to the original position, and here comes the end of this session. I hope you like this session, and I'll meet you in the next module. Till then, it's bye bye.